The forest is silent, suffocated by a new fall of snow. Beoa, a Neanderthal of the mammoth steppe, lies low against the back of his mount, his knuckles wide where he grips the thick, shaggy fur. His own heavy hide cloak does little to ward off the biting wind, but he feels the deep, furnace-like heat radiating from the beast beneath him. She is Old Mother, an Ursus Speleus of immense size, her breath plumbing in the frigid air like smoke from a deep cavern. Her massive head, as broad as Boar's torso, swings slowly from side to side, her black nose twitching, reading the story of the wind. This is not a master and a slave. This is an ancient pact, a living weapon forged in the crucible of a shared ice age. The scent they are tracking is that of a woolly rhinoceros, a creature of foul temper and armored hide. For a lone hunter, it is a dangerous, often fatal, proposition. For this rider and his mount, it is merely Tuesday's work. Old Mother gives a low rumble, a vibration Beoa feels in his very bones. It is the signal. She has the beast cornered in a small, ice-choked ravine ahead. Beoa shifts his weight, a silent command, and the great she-bear moves forward, her paws the size of dinner plates making no sound on the fresh powder. This is the pinnacle of their unique culture, a perfect symbiosis that has made these early humans the undisputed masters of their world. They see it now, the rhino scraping at the ice with its great horn, steam jetting from its nostrils. The bear does not hesitate, bows sharp. Guttural cries lost in the earth-shaking roar that erupts from Old Mother's throat. The impact is a geological event. The rhino is a mountain of muscle and horn, but the bear is a landslide. She strikes the rhino's flank, her immense weight and power driving it against the ravine wall. Her claws, long and curved like sickles, tear through the thick hide, while her jaws, capable of crushing the femur of a mammoth, lock onto its neck. This is not a battle of brute force alone. Beoa, clinging to the bear's back, uses her spear, a massive shaft of yew tipped with a heavy flint point, to deliver precise, intelligent thrusts into the soft flesh behind the rhino's fall. Seeking the heart and lungs, the rhino thrashes, its horn scoring a deep but glancing blow against the bear's shoulder. But the combination of primal fury and calculated violence is too much. The great beast slumps, its life bleeding out into the pristine snow. The hunt is over. The rest of the clan, who had been following at a distance, now arrive. Old Mother is rewarded first, allowed to gorge on the liver and heart, the richest parts of the kill. It is the law of their clan, the price of the alliance. As the others begin the long, arduous task of butchering the carcass, a Neanderthal child approaches the great bear without fear, reaching out a small hand to touch the bloody fur of her snout. The bear, sated and calm, allows the touch. In this single, quiet moment, the truth of their world is laid bare. They have not just tamed the beast, they have made it family. The clan is on the move. A slow, formidable procession through the snow-laden pines. The meat from the rhino kill, a mountain of life-giving protein and fat, is lashed to sledges dragged by the younger, unridden bears. Beoa and Old Mother lead the way, their passage a declaration of ownership. For 100 generations, this has been their land. Their dominion is absolute, a fact reinforced with the blood of every rival predator and the bones of every successful hunt. The world is a known and conquered thing. The first sign of the change is a scent on the wind. It is not the familiar musk of bear, wolf, wool mammoth. It is the thin, smoky scent of a strange fire, and beneath it, the sharp, unfamiliar sweat of a new kind of animal. Old Mother stops, her head raised, a low growl of uncertainty in her throat. The clan halts behind them. Beoa dismounts, his hand resting on the bear's thick fur. Coming to her, he moves forward alone, a silent, hulking shape, his stone axe held ready. He finds their camp. It is abandoned now, but the signs are fresh. The fire pit is small and neat, a stark contrast to the sprawling, social fires of his own people. Scattered around it are alien artifacts. Tools of flint, but they are impossibly small and delicate, thin blades and sharp points. Not the heavy, brutal choppers his clan favors. They are strange, carved pieces of bone, marked with lines and dots. It is the camp of ghosts, of creatures whose minds work in a different shape than his own. He hears a sound, a high, sharp cry, and follows it to the edge of a ridge. Below, in a clearing, he sees them. They are tall and slender, like reeds. Their movements quick and strangely jerky. They are Homo sapiens. The new men, a rumor whispered from clan to clan, but never before seen this far north. Bioa watches them, his heavy brow furrowed in a mixture of contempt and curiosity. They look weak, fragile. Their children chase each other. Their laughter a thin, piercing sound. They seem like a people with no defense. An easy meal for the winter. Then he sees their hunters. They are stalking a herd of giant elk, but they do not charge. They do not use their numbers or their strength to corner a beast. They keep their distance. A tactic of cowardice in boar's eyes. One of the hunters, a small figure at the edge of the trees, raises a stick. A second, shorter stick is attached to it, with a flick of the wrist. A first stick, a spear, impossibly long and thin, leaps forward. It does not arc through the air like a thrown spear. It flies flattened fast. A deadly, horizontal leg. It is an atlatl, a spear thrower, a piece of technology that turns the human into a deadly catapult. The thin spear crosses the clearing in a heartbeat and slams into the side of a large bull elk, 100 paces away. The beast stumbles, a shocked expression on its face, then crashes to the ground. The kill is silent, distant, and brutally efficient. Bioa feels a cold knot tighten in his gut. It is not fear, it is something worse. It is the dawning realization that the fundamental laws of his world have been rewritten. His power, the power of his clan and their burial eyes, is built on closing the distance, an overwhelming force in a chaotic, intimate clash. These new people, these slender ghosts, have made distance a weapon. How can Old Mother charge an enemy she cannot reach? How can his axe crush a skull that stays 100 paces away? For the first time, Bioa looks at the masters of the Ice Age, his own people, and feels a shadow of doubt. A new and unnerving game has begun, and he does not yet know the rules. The war is not declared, it simply begins. The slender men, the sapiens, do not respect the old boundaries. Their hunting parties push deeper into the clan's territory. Their long-range kills leaving a trail of half-butchered carcasses that draw scavengers and disrupt the ancient rhythms of the hunt. They are a pestilence, a quiet, creeping invasion. Boar's clan responds with overwhelming force. They launch a series of brutal raids, their bare-mounted warriors crashing into the sapiens' camps like an avalanche. The combination of Neanderthal strength and Dursan fury a terrifying spectacle. But the victories are hollow. They are always met with an empty camp, the slender men having vanished into the forest like smoke, only to reappear days later in a different part of the territory. They refuse to stand and fight. They use the land itself as their primary weapon, leading the bears into cleverly disguised pit traps and deadfall snares. It is a war of attrition, of intelligence against power. And it is a war the Neanderthals are not built to win. The conflict is becoming a cognitive arms race, and Boar's people are falling behind. The final confrontation comes at the foot of the Great Glacier, a sacred place of mammoth bones. The sapiens have made a stand, their families sheltered in a defensible network of caves in the ice wall. This time, they do not run. Bioa sees it as a final, desperate act. He rallies his clan for a single, decisive charge to wipe the invaders from their lands forever. 10 warriors, each mounted on a battle-scarred cave bear, formed as vanguard. It is the most powerful cavalry the world has ever seen. As they charge across the frozen plain, the air fills with a high-pitched hum. A volley of atlatl darts descends upon them. The light spears cannot penetrate the bear's thick hides or the Neanderthal's heavy furs. but they cause chaos and pain, turning the disciplined charge into a ragged, luring nub. As they reach the caves, the true nature of the trap is revealed. The sapiens have spent days pouring water over the slopes, creating a treacherous sheet of sheer ice. The bears, with their immense weight, cannot find purchase. They slip, slide, and crash into one another, their power rendered useless by a simple, clever trick. Bo and Old Mother are the first to reach the solid ground at the cave mouths, but the enemy is waiting. They swarm from the caves, not with spears, but with torches and loud, clattering noisemakers made of bone, fire and noise. The two things that can break a bear's nerve. Old Mother, wounded and confused, rears up, roaring in frustration and fear. In that moment of distraction, a dozen sapiens warriors rush Bo. He fights with the strength of 10 men, his stone axe a blur of deadly force. But he is overwhelmed. A spear finds its way under his ribs. He falls from the bear's back into the blood-soaked snow. Seeing him fall, Old Mother goes berserk. Her fear is burned away by a loyalty that transcends species. She becomes a whirlwind of tooth and claw. A force of pure, primal grief, she tears through the ranks of the slender men. Her rampage clearing a path for the other Neanderthals to retreat with their wounded, including Bo. The sapiens do not pursue. They have won the field. It is a clear, undeniable defeat for the Neanderthals. But as they drag their leader away, the cost to the victors is also clear. Old Mother, riddled with spears, finally collapses at the edge of the battlefield. The price of Bo's life was his oldest and most powerful friend. It is a bitter, territorial victory, a day that saves the clan but breaks its heart, and proves that the world will no longer be ruled by strength alone. In the aftermath, Bo's clan retreats to their deep valleys, licking their wounds. They have survived, but their spirit is broken. The world is no longer theirs. They have met an enemy that cannot be crushed, only outthought, and they have paid a terrible price for the lesson. This alternate history, this dream of a Neanderthal dominion built on an alliance of muscle and might, ends not with a bang, but with a quiet, dawning understanding. Power is not just strength, it is adaptability, and the slender, clever newcomers possess that in abundance. The story of the Bear Riders becomes a melancholy legend, a tale of a golden age brought to an end by a new kind of mind. It serves as a powerful allegory for every dominant power that has ever faced a disruptive, paradigm-shifting challenger. It reminds us that no alliance is unbreakable, no kingdom is eternal, and the future does not always belong to the strong, but to the swift, the clever, and those who can master the terrible, beautiful art of change. This is the account of the chronicler. Bear witness, and remember, the ghosts of the future are not born of malice, but of necessity.